So starting from left to right on this Northern Light generator, we have generator, we have air inlet, we have our electrical outlet, we have electrical control wires, we have the like a little coolant holding tank, which should be somewhere between the low and full when it's cold. Moving over further, we have our secondary fuel, we have our little fuel pump, mechanical, we have our oil filter, the terrible oil fill here, which takes forever because it has to go by this gear. We have the Seawater raw water pump. A little bit of green around here, but nothing that screams active leak. Both the fittings are, and the hoses look good. There's no green or salt water around those either. Moving to the front of the engine, we have a little bit of dust here, but the actual belt itself looks good, so we'll go ahead and just wipe off the dust on the crankshaft and on the alternator. So we're going to be checking fittings, make sure that nothing's loose. There's a little bit of movement here just because there's so much rubber, but the one portion of this is raw water and then the other portion is coolant, so we want to make sure that we don't see any red or green depending on coolant color, and then we also want to make sure that these are nice and tight so we don't get salt water in the cooling system of the engine. And then moving around, we have coolant going into the bottom of here, our heat exchangers up here, we have heat exchanger outlet, which is here, and then we have a new stainless mixer, so our seawater comes in here and then actually mixes with the exhaust to cool it off. So a couple years ago I replaced this and got rid of the cast one. So the cast one, they'll crack in one or two spots on the bottom, and then that's where this started to come from. So we caught it early so it didn't destroy everything, but that's something that if this is up against a bulkhead where you might not actually be able to see that leak until it becomes so bad that you're aware that there's water or salt in the base of your generator. So we want to check that. And then also just looking at this hose too, this is our seawater inlet. We want to make sure that this is in good shape. And then if you look in the back here, there's actually a connection point right here. And if that was leaking too on the suction side of your inlet, that would also cause a lot of damage there. So we want to make sure that we don't have any loose fittings, and more often than not you'll be able to find a loose fitting by some substrate, the liquid substrate that is there, that's going to be causing the problem. And then when we do find that, we don't want to just tighten things up. We want to try to take things apart and clean them and tighten them up, because a lot of times it's due to saltwater corrosion. So with that, we've kind of gone all the way around. We can't take the back panel off, but the nice thing is there's nothing really working on that end that we need to deal with, unless we have some sort of a generator issue that is electrical, but they're pretty self-sufficient at that point. There's not a lot of wear items, where all of our wear items like alternator belts and raw water pumps are in a spot where we can actually see them. So this is the only spot that we really want to make sure that when we do our inspections that we're able to take a close look at, or if there are any leaks, and making sure that hose clamps and everything else is tight so that we don't have this or worse in the future.